This is Ingrid Lunden with TechCrunch TV. I'm with Phil Libin, who is in San Francisco, and I'm in London. And we're here to talk a little bit about Evernote Business. So now this was announced a few months ago, Phil.
hmm
Welcome, first of all. Sorry. This was announced a few months ago at one of your events. And at the time, you were opening it up for beta users.
hmm
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that's been going? Who's signed on? What's the profile of the typical Evernote Business early adopter?
Yeah, well, we first announced that we're going to be launching Evernote Business back at our conference at the end of August, and we said that we'd be launching it in December. And hey, what do you know? It's December. I guess it's time to launch it. So we're really psyched about this. Evernote Business has been something that's been a long way in coming. Most of our users already, most of Evernote's users already use Evernote at work. We just did a survey. And we found out that about 66%, two-thirds of our users are using Evernote at the office for work stuff, as well as for personal stuff together. But only about 15% of those have Evernote officially brought in by their company. 85%, just took them in themselves or got their coworkers to recommend Evernote. So we really wanted to make a better experience for people to use Evernote at work. And we thought a lot about how to do that. We went through many types of designs. We really wanted to build something that was great for us as a company. And I'm really happy that it's finally out. So Evernote Business it's really targeted towards companies that kind of look like Evernote. We're about 270, 280 people, quickly
Mhm.
growing, knowledge workers, and that's what we're trying to build a great experience for. Small and medium businesses, small and medium teams within businesses that
Right.
want to use Evernote for basically to build their company brain.
Cool. Do you have any plans on ever, first of all, have you talked with any larger enterprises, or do you plan to do that as part of the mix?
Yeah, we do eventually hope to be able to give great experiences and make Evernote Business a good fit for bigger and bigger enterprises. But our strategy there it's really the same as it's been for everything else. So we're good at making products for things that we understand, for experiences that we understand. So I think we understand pretty well what's a great experience for a small or medium-sized company. And to be honest with you, we don't know what a great experience would be for a 20,000 user company, 20,000 employee company. But someday we will, because someday we hope to be a 20,000 employee company. At that point, we'll still be making software for us, except for then it'll also include large enterprise customers. So we kind of hope by sticking to what we know, we can make a great experience. I think in the technology world today, it's such a meritocracy that the only way you can succeed is to have a great experience. And so hopefully by making things for companies that we understand, we can succeed, we can become a bigger company ourselves, and then we can just expand the types of companies that we're making software for.
Right, right. So you're adding some new features now that you're doing a full launch. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now?
We are. The core Evernote experience is the same. We really wanted Evernote Business to just be Evernote. So you use the same apps. It's really just a different type of account. In fact, you can have your personal Evernote account, and you don't have to change anything. All of your personal stuff stays personal. Your company never sees it. But now you'll also be able to have business notebooks and business libraries and all sorts of business information. So the most important thing was not to change the core Evernote experience for individuals.
Right.
I kind of like to think of everything in video game terms. It doesn't really make sense, I guess, but so much of my brain is just formed by playing video games as a kid. I just kind of put everything in video game industry terms. And in video game terms, it's like we've always had a great single-player game at Evernote. And what we've been missing, and what we're hoping to introduce in Evernote Business, is a good co-op mode. Right? So Evernote Business is a great way to play Evernote, to experience Evernote with your team of trusted coworkers and other people, so that you can share with them, you can get things done together. So all of the new features are really meant around much better sharing, much better collaboration, a much better way to get something done with a small group of smart people.
That's cool. Okay. Last question. Now, I know you are the man with a 100-year plan. I know you like to talk about how Evernote is the company to be around for 100 years and beyond. So if we can just put you into 100 years into the future, if you were to kind of think about what the mix would be of Evernote users in 100 years, how would it split between like the consumer user and the business user, would you say?
I think that actually in much less than 100 years, I think there's going to be this big convergence. Because basically, I think we don't make enterprise software at Evernote. We make software for people. We make software for human beings, and most of those human beings just happen to have jobs. And we want them to use Evernote for their whole lives, for everything that's important in their lives, including for this really important thing that many of them are doing in their lives, which is working. And I think that's really a new trend, not just with Evernote, but with technology in general. I think people have become accustomed to a really high degree of quality in their personal life technology decisions. Apple and Google and Amazon, they've kind of taught users, taste. They've taught users to expect wonderful, beautiful experiences, and yet when you show up at work, these same people who are used to great experiences out of their personal technology get pretty ugly, pretty crappy work technology, and that's not sustainable. That's going to end. So really, I don't think there's much difference between business users and personal users. I think it's all individuals. It's people whose information is very important to them. Almost everyone at this point that's in our core user bases is some form of knowledge worker or on their way to becoming so. Whether you're a student or you're an employee, you've got a personal life and then you've got an informational life that you're doing with other people, classmates, co-workers, whatever. And we want the experiences to be the same. We think that employees deserve just as beautiful an experience at work as they do in their personal lives, and we hope to be on the cutting edge of bringing people that.
That's great. So a kind of consumerization trend is following into the Evernote approach to business, which is very cool.
I wouldn't really call it.
Thank you very much, Phil. I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, and thanks everyone for listening in.
Thanks, Ingrid. I wouldn't say it's consumerization. I would say the trend is towards higher quality. So everyone deserves beautiful, higher quality experiences, whether they're consumers or employees, and they're the same people. So the trend is quality.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Not consumerization. Thank you very much.